Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee on this Friday, and I just want to go over, going to keep it short today as we are heading into the holiday weekend. Um, just a few highlights as far as weather is concerned for this weekend. I think the big thing for Saturday will be the cold front that will be approaching the Northeast, and there is, as I anticipated yesterday, this large area of marginal risk, and the Storm Prediction Center has now added an area of slight risk throughout much of Pennsylvania, touching northwest New Jersey into the western part of the Catskills through upstate New York and Vermont, and then the marginal risk extends out to the coast, which makes sense. And we've been making this transition over into a warm and humid air mass in the east, and you can see there are some clouds and some showers and storms being produced today on the satellite. And I think there might be some late afternoon scattered and evening scattered thunderstorms in my neck of the woods. And as we look out just quickly this morning out in the west as sunrise approaches, you have just sort of typical summertime weather going on over there. Nothing much going on in the tropics. We continue to watch the intertropical convergence zone pushing a little bit further to the north, a little bit every day. And some of the models are generating some type of tropical system developing in the central Atlantic during the middle and latter part of next week. We'll see how that plays. But in terms of current activity, there isn't too much happening, and certainly nothing to worry about with regards to the holiday weekend. So let's just real quick take you through the HRRR today. And by this evening, you see some scattered storms do develop here, and into this evening, looks like the bulk of the activity will be up into New England. And after that, it looks like it calms down just a little bit for the overnight. And if we extend it out to tomorrow, we'll look at the NAM model's view of this. And, I'm thinking for Saturday, of all of the days between now and next Tuesday, I think tomorrow is probably the one day that could be a little problematic with some downpours and thunderstorms popping up in the afternoon in inland areas, although I think they should be scattered in nature, and then maybe a thunderstorm or two later in the afternoon into the evening. But other than that, afterwards, Sunday to me looks fine. Monday, we have a reinforcing little cold front coming through that has a drier air behind it. Actually, a little bit of dry air comes in for Sunday, another reinforcing surge behind it, so that the 4th of July itself, I think, is going to be a very good day indeed. We'll go quick to show you what's going on in the west. And it's pretty empty on the NAM, if you notice, just some scattered activity. I'll just roll it back here. Just some scattered activity in terms of thunderstorms, but much of the west is dry. So it's just in typical summertime mode right through the 4th of July. So that's a good thing. And with regards to the longer range upper air pattern, we're going to take this to the GFS. And we'll go a little wider here. And there we have it. We've been talking about the fact that there's been this general idea of troughing in the east, and that continues, so it keeps it from getting too hot for too long. The jet stream lying very, very close here. You see the general signature remains, a ridge out in the west, so this is where it's going to be hot, and you've got this general troughing in the east. So it's warm to very warm, but it's certainly not going to be any kind of heat. And in fact, the trough actually deepens a little bit later next week and the next week. And here's the representation of the tropical system on the upper air. And the model just kind of lifts it up and around. Now, one of the things I pointed out when you look at these things, the models are going to do different things with them every day. With a general troughing in the east, if there were a tropical system, it would have to time out with another trough swinging down and around as far as trying to pick it up is concerned. But last night's 6Z GFS wanted to make it interesting with this, assuming that it's even real, but then it goes up and out, but offshore and just offshore. But again, I don't want anybody to read anything into this. This is just sort of purely speculative. I think the thing to focus on is the fact that the general pattern favors that troughing in the east. So that's something that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. And just, very fast, in terms of temperatures, for my neck of the woods anyway, we'll punch up the 2-meter temperatures here. and just go back just a little bit. And, starting with today, middle to upper 80s. There'll probably be some lower 90, temperatures that'll hit 90 in parts of New Jersey. And you can see where the lower 90s are further south in Virginia. One of the differences with this particular warm-up that we're having is that the wind direction is more from the south-southwest. And that is not a wind that usually brings temperatures up much above the upper 80s to around 90. Sunday, same idea, mid-80s to near 90. Monday, it actually has it maybe a little bit lower, low to mid 80s. And Tuesday, 4th of July, actually looks pretty pleasant with temperatures mostly in the lower side of 80. So let's give it a range of 80 to 85. So in terms of the heat and humidity, it really isn't going to be that bad over the next several days. So take advantage of that. Have a great getaway Friday. Please be safe on your travels and have a safe 4th of July. We'll keep you covered on the weather over the weekend. And you can check the website post, of course, at meteorologistjoechaffee.com. And Long Island weather, which is important this weekend for holiday weekend, on weatherlongisland.com. If you're going into New York City for events, Angry Ben has that covered on nycweathernow.com. And once again, a big thank you to all my YouTube subscribers. If you are new to the videos, and new to my YouTube channel, hit the little red subscribe button. It's absolutely free, and you'll get notifications when new videos come out, which is usually at least once a day. All right, have a great Friday and a great weekend.